Hey guys, I am here to go through the notes with you, and I just wanted to say you're doing a great job of getting stuff turned in. I love that, so keep up the good work. Alright, so we're going to go to the notes here. I did not make this PowerPoint, but I thought it was cute. There's some kind of cool animations in here, so let's get her going. I'll try to be quick. Alright, so we're going to look at what makes up an animal. Why is an animal an animal? What are their characteristics? Okay. Oops. I went too fast. See if we can try again. Okay, well, this has taken a long time to load, so we'll just go through like this. So which of these is an animal? And the answer is all of them. They all are animals. So some characteristics of animals: they are heterotrophic, which means, you should know what that means, but it means that they eat other organisms. Eukaryotic means that their cells have a nucleus. They're multicellular, meaning their bodies are made up of more than one cell. And their cells lack cell walls. And then 95% of animals are invertebrates. They don't have a backbone, so that would be like spiders and insects and sponges, lots of different types of animals. And then 5% do have a backbone. And we're going to focus on Minnesota animals that are vertebrates, just to kind of narrow down our thinking, or our scope a little bit. So biology, like you guys know, is the study of life. Anatomy is the structure. Physiology is the function. Let's get that ahead. So our functions. We have herbivores. You guys, again, we just did this. So they eat plants. Carnivores eat animals. Omnivores eat plants and animals. And detritivores eat anything that's decaying. I thought the snail eating was cute. Filter feeders are aquatic animals that strain food from the water. So a sea sponge, yes, a sea sponge is an animal, which is kind of a weird, thought. And the basking shark, so it opens its mouth and gathers plankton. There could also be parasites. So parasites live in or on another organism in a symbiotic relationship. And the thing about a parasite is that one of the organism's benefits, the other one is harmed. So there's a roundworm inside the eye of the frog. This is a wasp that lays its eggs inside the caterpillar. So when the eggs hatch, they eat the caterpillar. Ugh. That sounds like a horror movie. Second is all organisms go through respiration, so they take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. They could either do this through gills, through lungs, or some animals do it through their skin. I'm not going to go through this, but if you wanted to look through the animals that breathe through their butts, you can. Basically, it's that there are gills down by the butt region that take in oxygen. The third is circulation, so moving oxygen throughout the body. This can be done in a lot of different ways. So small animals, it just diffuses throughout. But large animals have to have a way to pump the blood through the body. So this would be a human's heart. So we have a double circuit, one that goes to the lungs, one that goes to the body. And some animals have a single circuit, some have just two chambers, some have a 3-chambered heart, and then some have 4. Excretion is the removal of waste. So the main organ that does that is the kidney. It filters the blood, gets all the waste, especially ammonia kind of waste, to be able to leave the body, and then is excreted as urine. All animals respond to stimuli. They have a nervous system of some type. So some of these responses are reflexive. This dog paddling, it's a reflex, just like a baby sucking has a sucking reflex. If you hold a baby up, they'll actually walk like, or make motions like they're walking, just like this puppy does. So there's lots of responses that are reflexive. Most animals have movement, so they could move voluntarily or involuntarily sometimes, but most of them move in a voluntary manner. They can swim, crawl, fly, run, slither, but some don't move at all, like a sponge. Quadrupedal and bipedal. Quadrupedal's has 4 legs, or walks on 4 legs. Bipedal walks on 2 legs. Terrestrial means that they live on land. Aquatic means they live in the water. Sessile and motile. Sessile means they are attached to something, the ground usually. Motile means they can move freely. Reproduction. Most reproduce sexually, meaning there's genetic material donated from 2 different parents, and that's an advantage because of genetic diversity. But some invertebrates will reproduce asexually as well. Some have live births, some lay eggs. Okay, depends on the type. You guys are going to do this quick check as part of your homework assignment, so I'm going to skip ahead. Body symmetry. There's a body plan, and it's how its parts are arranged. So asymmetry means there's no pattern, like a coral or a sponge. We have radial symmetry that is kind of like a pizza, like you can cut it in half and it'll be the same all the way around. And bilateral means you have a mirror image. So here's some examples of radial symmetry, shaped like a wheel. Starfish and a jellyfish are examples of radial symmetry. Alright. Bilateral symmetry, again, there's a mirror image. Most animals that you think of have bilateral symmetry, so a right side and a left side. If we split us right down the middle, would be mirror images. Our sides would be mirror images of each other. You guys are going to identify what type of symmetry, so R for radial. I don't remember what I had for no symmetry, and then B for bilateral. So identify what is what. I'm gonna skip a little bit, but cephalization just means there's a head region, and that's just where there's a concentration of the sense organs. So it could be eyes, it could be ears, but sometimes it might just be where there's a bunch of nerves that come together. Okay. So which of these exhibits cephalization? Well, it'll be the cuttlefish, right? I'm going to skip this part. Body sides, and I'm just going to skip that too. Animals have body segments and specialization of their tissues, which is kind of interesting, and it's an advantage because different parts can be used for different purposes. So we have a heart that has a certain job, our brain has a certain job, our kidneys have a certain job, instead of all of our cells having to do all of the jobs. It also can be an advantage because if something happens to one part, depending on what part it is, the organism could still survive. So if I lose my hand, I can still survive. There's development. And interestingly, all animals kind of start out their development in a similar way. There's a zygote with a fertilized egg. The zygote divides to form what's called a blastula, which is just a hollow ball of cells. So you can see here there's a hollow space, there's a cavity there. That's going to pinch inward and form 3 different layers. So we have endoderm, which is the inside, that's going to become like the digestive tract. Mesoderm is going to become like muscles. Ectoderm is going to become like the skin. I'm going to skip that. The animal kingdoms in the phyla in the kingdoms. We have peripera, which are your sponges. They have pores. Okay. Cnidarians, sea anemones, jellyfish. Platyhelminthes are the flatworms, so that could be a planarian, which these are kind of cool. They regenerate. There's a video on the next slide that you can watch. Or there's parasites. A lot of the flatworms are parasites. You can watch this video on your own. Nematodes are roundworms, which again, a lot of them are parasites, but not all of them. And annelids are your segmented worms, so that would be leeches and earthworms and things like that. Mollusks, snails, octopus, clams, squid, those are all mollusks. They have a shell. The octopus has a very, their shell has gotten smaller over time, and it's internal. Arthropods are crustaceans, little crayfish, insects, spiders. Echinoderms are the sea stars. Chordates are the vertebrates, and again, we're going to mostly talk about vertebrates in our unit. So any animal that has a backbone: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. Those are the 5 that we're going to hopefully get through. And we'll look at different Minnesota common species in Minnesota. And this last page you will do on your worksheet. So let me know if you have any questions. I miss you guys.